Hey, how's it going?
So if we want to theoretically use the journalism lab to record like narration, would we just have to talk to you guys?
Narration?
Yeah, I'm for my internship. I'm doing a video.
I'm just messing with you.
I was like,
Narration? Who does that? Yeah, no, that's fine.
okay,
Whatever you need, just send me an email.
sounds good.
I just want to, let's just go over what you did.
Okay,
You're live right now.
okay.
So you just need to unplug this power, this white cable right here,
Okay.
and then this power. And then
Okay.
just grab these two.
All
Don't
right.
worry about the extension cord or the Ethernet cables. Grab this and this.
This, and plug here. And these two.
Yep. And then I'll come grab the camera.
And then we need the camera?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want me to take you into
No,
the-
take the camera.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But
the
you can
cords
leave
I
the
can-
extension cable and the Ethernet cable. That's fine.
Okay.
But
Fine.
it should be good to go. It's from the left side or the right side of the screen.
Okay.
Actually, if you want to see it, here we go.
Well, that would be awesome.
It should be as easy as clicking the link.
Should be as easy as clicking the link. Look, there's the room. So where do I need to stand so that I'm in it? Oh, right there.
It's probably about a 10-second high, I would say.
Okay.
So,
Cool beans. Luke, you're the best.
have fun.
Thank you so much. There's no battery on the clock. That's going to be annoying. Hello. How are you people? I'm going to start with you, my young friend. Hi, Janet.
Hey, man.
Sign in.
I'll be back.
Dave and talk to just right in, not sign in.
Fire bit. It's a bit better than last week. Yeah. Well, I would say I was liking it. Two. Yeah. No, I know that it was one, when is that?
Are you all loaded up, Sadie? You got good power in your batteries?
Power my batteries?
Yeah, so you can tweet out the class. Oh yeah, she says. Poor Kenzie, you're just drowning in me all day today.
I just can't get enough.
You just apparently can't.
I'm gonna go find a costume. See what I can get. DC, you guys.
It's just his only birthday wish.
How's your anything you doing?
It's gonna be one of those days for me.
It's not all.
I spill tea everywhere. Usually when I can, and apparently I don't.
I got rear-ended at 2:30. I have a screaming headache
Oh.
Where at?
in my head.
No, we're just in your
I was driving up Arlington and heading north, coming to campus, and right when it dips down to the 15 mile an hour, and there was a pedestrian. That's why it's 15 miles an hour. So I stopped for it. The girl behind me did not see that. So my head really hurts. Her car's all messed up. The airbag blew up. She pounded me hard, and she got the front end of her whole car shifted, so she can't open the doors. It's a better day for her than it is for me. Better. That's really good English.
Huh?
Better.
Your pen. Oh, is your pen?
I'll share my pen with the world.
That's
Like kind contribution.
Yeah.
That sounds
I have
exciting.
everything on this now.
All right, I'm really fussed about not having a clock that works.
I'm so excited.
You can just point at me and I'll tell you the
It's
time.
5:22.
Will you?
So it's not like a big
It's
one.
5:22.
Still.
Allison, I got you.
You got me? Oh, there is one on that. Thank you.
Please start.
Well,
That's so nice, Shelby. Yep. Bye. Shifting. Is she done yet?
frantically.
Oh my God.
Are they like local?
The guy faced my
Oh, this might not be it. Which is this the right one?
How'd you find them?
searching for internships.
Do I switch it on the camera, by the way?
Chamber writing.
Yes, yes, we do.
Well, that's not me.
This is my whole.
Yeah.
That would give my day.
But that's to join up the 50 groups.
I'm sorry?
That's to join up the 50 groups.
Yes.
Inside stuff. Oh, told me not to send it here, but wow, how did you do this school?
Some inspiration.
With all this. It's good. I'm like, no.
God, we were.
That might not do it. piques interest, but then also you see that you are a
Are you guys on the streaming thing? You have to go find the link off of Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have, I don't know, straight?
Yeah, so the live streaming?
Are we watching it live, like right now?
Yes. You are. You don't have to live stream it because that would be weird trying to be in two places. I was just wondering if someone could check to make sure you could see me if I was standing over here.
It was good. It's like you were there, and I thought you should remember this.
No, that, no, it was working when Lindsay and I were
No,
downstairs.
that's fine. We're gonna try
Because
to-
you saw it? Okay.
I mean, I just double checked.
All right. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you are.
There I am. And you can see me here? Can you see me now?
No,
Wait, I don't know, because you're
it's a little behind,
a little
Allison.
behind.
Oh, it's a 10-second relay.
You are. You don't have to live stream it because that would be weird trying to be in two places.
It's later than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, you're behind the computer and not shot, so.
I don't usually do an
Okay, that's all I needed to know. You can make that go away.
To like that wall, till, yeah.
So I'm good in this whole space?
Yeah.
So awesome. Can't tell you how excited I am.
all of
Connor!
I read them all. That's what I did today. That was my day.
Well, I read the one, I read that one was that one was
Yes.
So much weird shit going on here. I haven't been back all summer. I got here like half an hour ago.
Dude, I have a huge favor.
I'll show you guys.
What is it?
It wouldn't hurt you.
Okay.
Can you escape in the middle of the day, like 8:30 in the morning to 11:30 in a time frame for
Yeah.
an hour?
Yeah.
I am teaching a cool class. It's the modern media class to the kids at the Davidson Institute.
Okay.
So they're geniuses. They're 13.
They're a lot
15.
smarter than me.
Me, all of us combined in the room. But I want to show them how video games work.
Okay.
So I'll email you and see what day in the schedule, but have you come because,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, half of them are gamers.
Yeah, talk to Erin Fuss will know a lot too. She knows, like, I know a lot more about like geek culture and like the idea of games. She's like way better at actually making games. Like she's really good at making them.
I might get you both and come.
That
But
would
I got to figure out where in the schedule it makes sense. But would you come do that for an hour?
Oh yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So awesome.
I love molding young minds.
So do I. But I know shitola about the streaming. All right.
It's good.
More people have come in. Hello. How are you?
They signed me on for my year. And then they're gonna be evaluating my
You were gonna be like, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I shouldn't need to do it. It's not you, it's me. I'm sorry. I miss being here.
Well,
Well, I don't miss it because it was too early in the morning.
it's fine now. Work reasons. We have one of the
It's the end of the day. It's almost cocktail hour.
and we need radio station.
Well, it is.
I can 100% get
It's RSJ499.
couple people are gonna hear.
It's in Twitter.
It's not
How's
popular,
that?
because I haven't used it lately, so it's not.
It's not auto-populating for you?
Not yet.
It's the RSJ499.
Living on a boat was great.
I was like super stoked, so I was like at the rodeo, being like, I'm having so much fun. And I checked your Snapchat, and Amanda's in Florida. Like that's way better.
I know, I'm sorry, I have some time.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. I feel like I didn't
Did you have classes with them, or was it all people left?
I would have gone Sylvia Earle and
So if you didn't get here by 5:30, they're locking the doors and not letting anybody. How do you open these? Push up. Push what up? She says. Come fix this for me. Little.
push down. Sorry, I have
Okay.
numbers.
All right. Well, you knew better than I did, so that's fantastic.
It's okay. It took me like 3 months to figure it out.
So Okay, well, and I had you, so it won't take me as long. All right, so the door locks at 5:30, so there may be people who are texting us and saying, I can't get in. So they may text us. Shh. They may text us, or they may put it on the Twitter feed because nobody's responding because they don't have it. So kind of keep an eye out to see if somebody's like, hey, I can't get in, but thank God it's being live streamed. Hi, Jamal.
Hi.
You might be in the camera.
Oh.
Not Look, he gets all, okay,
Oh, since you put it that way.
okay.
How do you open that thing that it's not opening?
There's like a little latch.
And you push it down, the little sticky outy part. There we go. See? Thank God you were here. None of us would know how to do this. All right. As a reminder, my young friends, you are to tweet out the class experience. For those of you who are on the news side, you want to tweet this out as if you were sharing this with your viewers, readers, people who pay attention to you. I don't know if I'm in the camera. And, you know, describe what's happening, describe the scene, as well as share the content. You need to do that. If you're on the PR, advertising, communication side, you would still have to do that to share, like, with your fan base or your whomever. So try and capture the content. For those who are not available and they're watching the live stream, you can follow along on the PowerPoint. If you've got multiple channels, it's on the Facebook page. So maybe you have your phone and a computer, that'd be awesome. But if you can't, at least you have the PowerPoint or we've got the live stream. Again, we're gonna push this out on Twitter. Hashtag RSJ499 is our thread, so try and share that as much as you can, and then keep making the sign-in sheet come around and go back wherever it goes. Make sure I've got everybody signed in. Questions?
Wait, I haven't gotten it. Oh, it's going around.
It's going to come all the way back around to you, especially Nicole. How's that? All right. So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. How many of you have a LinkedIn? Okay, let me do this the other way. Who doesn't have a LinkedIn? A couple of you. You kind of have it, but you don't do anything with
That's
it?
because I need to search something on LinkedIn, so I made one in like 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You should have one after this class.
I have one now.
I know, you just friended me. I saw that. You can't hide that from me. I know. I know. I know who wants me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about networking in person. And then I'm going to cover why LinkedIn. Short answer, to get a job. That's why you should have it. Because that's where most of your job prospects are going to come from. But that's what we're going to cover tonight. Okay? All right. Why should we network? Talk to me, people. It's not a rhetorical question. Why should we network? This is not radio. I'm not afraid of dead airtime. Janelle, why should we network?
Because it's important to build a relationship with the larger community.
Yes. Anybody else have a reason why we should network? Yeah, tell me, Jacoby.
This journalism profession seems like the type of environment where it really helps to know people instead of just trying to do it on your own.
Brilliant! Yes, both of those reasons. So from a job perspective, hiring is a pain in the ass. PETA. People don't like to hire because it's a pain in the ass. So more often than not, the cliche is it's who you know comes into play. I can't tell you how many calls and emails a day I get. Hey, who of your students is ripe and ready to come work for us? Like I keep track of all of you in my head and I just have a list. I don't, but I remember you if you talk to me and I get to know you better in the classroom setting. And then I'll go, oh, talk to Jenner, talk to Jamal, or talk to Connor, because they got these mad skills. Yeah? So you really want to start making sure people in the industry, besides your professors, know who you are. Those of you who are bashful in the classroom, some of you I'm looking at that you haven't been in my class, you don't talk to me. You don't want to be bashful in the classroom either, because you need to be top of mind for people, especially when you're looking for work. How many of you are looking for a real-time gig now, right now? Any? Jamal, kinda? You kinda have one, you just need them to pay you, right? Looking for real work, right? So here's the thing. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. This is why we go on the referral basis. People know me, they know my standards, they know whether I taught you AP style, they know all these kinds of things. So if I say Kenzie is really bright, can handle her stuff, good in a crisis, she's calm, she thinks reasonably, they're gonna go, okay, we're gonna have a look at Kenzie, right? And I would say that about you. So there you go. I'm not making stuff up, that's true. So really important to network and start building relationships. And how you do that is you connect to people. Networking is not like, hi, how are you?
Great.
Who are you?
Jamal.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met, right? Because that's Jamal. He's like, whatever. I'm not talking about that kind of networking. Because does anybody like to do that? Go, hi, can I sell you a car? Yeah, right? None of us like to do that. That's really bad networking, so never do that anyway. Networking's like dating. Some of you might get action on the first date. I don't want to know if that's the way you operate. But usually you have at least a conversation. Usually. Unless you're using the Tinder. Then I don't want to know. That's not dating. Okay, that's just hooking up. Right? So, I know. I don't get the Tinder. I'm just old. So, networking is like dating. You build relationships. You build trust. You build rapport. You get to know people. So, if you have the opportunity to go network, I highly encourage you to just get to know people. Have a conversation with them. Many of you are looking for another internship or that entry-level position or a referral to, how many of you want to leave town when you finish school? Half of you? Yeah. So you never know who you come into contact who might have somebody in San Diego or DC or wherever it is that you want to go, yeah? So you want to build this network. Many of you already have one. Most of you have parents. It's not all of you do. Most of you's parents have friends. Who knew that they would be useful to you now? Some of them can be. Some of us faculty could be useful to you because we've seen your work. Some people really want to know how good is her graphic skills or how good is her writing or what have you. Your internship mentors, as you're going through this process now, ideally they can be referrals for you and connect you to the places you want to go next. And then some of you have current employers. I know Jamal works for a local restaurant, which is huge in the Portland area. Maybe that's where he wants to go, so he could take advantage of the owner having connections in Portland if that's where he wanted to go. He may not. You know, I used to work with him back in the day in wine stocks, right? Selling shoes.
I put my 2 weeks in.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to put that on live streaming camera, but okay. Good on you. So Jacoby kind of alluded to this without even knowing this. You are going to network for the rest of your life. If you're on the news side, you're going to need to know people who are doing stuff that you need to cover stories for, right, Tyler? Right? Because you're always like, who do I know that knows something about this? So some people you can cold call and just go call them up about environmental issues or marketing or whatever topic. But sometimes you may need to know the person And so all the relationships you've built with your colleagues here, as you all go off to do great epic shit, then fabulous, you need to remember each other. So whether you're on the news side or whether you're on the PR, Stratcom side, even the creative visual side, you never know if you're going to freelance, when you're going to need that next job or what have you. Yeah? So I'm going to encourage you to make connections and keep them so that you can use them, whether it's for jobs, resources for stories, maybe it's vendors. If you're into the events side, you may want somebody to do that. For the new people, make sure the sign-in sheet comes around, please. And then all of you are trained, no matter which side of the news aisle you are on in journalism, you want to network and research, you want to tell the story, you want to ask and evaluate. So you want to research what you know about people. If you meet somebody, you're not going to find out that they, everything there is to know about their biography. Maybe you do. Maybe it's a long cocktail hour and you just monopolize them and talk. But usually you only get 5 minutes. You can't find out everything there is to know about people in 5 minutes, right? So you want to research. You want to friend them on Facebook and LinkedIn and connect to them. You want to get them to tell you their story. It's far more, people want to talk about themselves more than they really want to listen about you. So when you're networking and you're specifically doing that, you want to make sure that you're asking them questions, getting them to tell their story, just like you would if you were a journalist, because you all are. And then ask them intelligent questions once, and I get you to say that so that they'll kind of remember you. If you have a great conversation with someone, ideally all of you have a business card so that you can write a little note on the back. Maybe you talk about skateboarding or gaming, video gaming, not gambling gaming. That's a whole nother gaming.
I could, but
you could. But you won't, right? So you want to ask them things so that eventually when you see them again, or when you send them a follow-up email, that's your evaluation, and you send them a follow-up email and you say, hey, it was really great to meet you. Can I show you my resume? Can I have an info conversation with you, whatever. So that's kind of what you do with networking. So in person, this is not going to be live streamed. I already shook your hand. But you want to know how to shake people's hands. Good job. Josh, nice and firm. Jenna, good. Good. Checking everybody. They're like, oh my God, no pressure. Okay, ready? Do this. Kick it down.
Get out of here.
You don't just shake people's hands, you say something more.
You do this all the time. Are you sick? Oh, disgusting. All right. So all of you passed the handshake test. When Jordan's not disgusting, I'll shake her hand too. My friend Jim McClanahan talks about a guy that he knows in the casino property industry down in Vegas who will screen you based on the handshake. If he didn't, he would go around to all the candidates who are applying for any kind of job. Doesn't matter if you're applying for a janitor position or the executive chef position or some marketing position, right? He'll shake your hand. And if he likes your handshake, he'll walk you down the hall and go, Janelle, come with me. And he'll take you into a room and you open the door and there's the next phase of interviewing. And if he doesn't like your handshake, he'll like take you to this side and open this door and it's the parking lot. Bye-bye. Totally, that's how he does it. So you make first impressions with your handshake. Don't squeeze too hard. I have really rock star jewelry, so don't squish my fingers. None of you had sweaty palms. If you know you do, kind of do this before. But it really makes a difference. You want to introduce yourself. Tyler, you like half stood up, said something to me. rock on, dude. It was awesome.
That's right.
Well, you don't try, hun, you do. So once you get past that part, you want to ask interesting questions. You want to, I would avoid if you go to a party with a bunch of grown-ups, what's the question that you always get asked?
How's school?
How's school? And what do you ask them?
Who are you dating?
Who are you dating?
That's very forward.
That's your family question, right? What is the question that normally gets asked among business professionals?
How's work?
What do you do? Right? What do you do for a living? And then what do they tell you? The answer is a job title. Why, I'm all things media, because we've already talked about that I don't like being the internship coordinator because I'm too old for that. So I'm all things media, all things internship at the journalism school. What does that mean? No one knows, and they're afraid to ask, because if they know me, they're like, I don't want to know. But they usually give you a job title. That's not a conversation. So think of a question that is much more interesting. Like, Connor, if you had all the spare time in the world, what would you do?
Snowboarding, skateboarding.
Tell me more.
Probably get hurt a lot.
We've already demonstrated that.
On hospital bills and write a little bit in my spare time.
Write a little bit in your spare time. Nicole, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
Travel.
Travel. Where would you go?
Azores.
To the Azores. Why the Azores?
Because my mother was born there, and I stayed my entire military family's from there.
Fabulous. Now we have something to talk about. If I like travel, if I've never been to the Azores, if I am geographically challenged and I don't even know where that is, I could ask her that. I kind of know. It's kind of off of Basque Land, Spain, right? No. Apparently I don't know. I'm geographically challenged. So at least you can have a conversation. That is far more memorable than, Jenna, what do you do? Right? So think now. I always try to ask questions like, if you had all the money in the world, if you had more free time, what would you be doing? Because it's a much more interesting conversation. I once asked a friend who I totally freaked her out. We weren't friends, and I said, so Elaine, I don't know you. What makes you interesting? She's like, the pressure. I don't know. But then she thought of something that made her interesting. So, ask something that's different. You do want to listen, because again, people really want to talk about themselves, especially in a one-on-one conversation. So learn to get clues from. I was finding out about why Nicole wants to go to the Azores first, right? Connor, I already know his history. This young man has had at least 5 concussions, if not more.
I've had one in like 3 years. That's pretty solid, right?
That's pretty solid. I'm so proud of you. Maybe you can go the rest of your life without not having any more, but the odds with you, not so good. So you want to listen. You do want to make sure all of you right now should have business cards. All of you right now should have business cards. I know Jamal has them. Anybody else in here have a business card? 3 of you. I know why
I
you
have
do.
a question. I don't have one.
You don't have what question? You have them? Fantastic. Nicole, what is your question?
So, since a lot of the jobs that we're doing aren't permanent, what should we put on the business card?
It's a brilliant question. I'm going to give you the answer. You should have, like it says on my little PowerPoint here. Can you guys see that? All right. Something like aspiring journalist or pursuing entry-level position in public relations or PR. Or you could use 3 words like your skill set: graphic design, website development, software something, editing something, I don't know, whatever you're good at. With your contact information, with an email you'll actually read, not your UNR one. So with a phone number, that's a real good way to reach you. And if you're good at it, your social media. Not your Twitter or your LinkedIn if you don't really use it. But after tonight, you people will. They're going to be hunting you down on the LinkedIn. Because when you meet people, your generation, you'll just text, what's your number? Here's my number, text, boom, you're connected, right? You can't do that with business associates. I'm not stopping everything I'm doing to get your digits. I'm not dating you, I'm just trying to find out if you're employable. So make sure you have a business card. You don't want to have it two-sided. While visually that's very creative, you want to at least have some room on the back, or if you have, like Jenna's, we made a fabulous logo for the Wolfpack Relations for the student firm. And it has a beautiful wolf logo that is light enough that you could write over it. But if it was the Nevada Inn, you couldn't write over that. So don't make it dark on the back. If you're going to have something on the back, make sure it's light so you could still write over it with a pen. If you're going to give someone your card, like Jamal's did. Jamal and Allison, what do you like to do? What is your favorite thing to do in your spare time?
My favorite thing to do in my spare time is to meet with friends and have a great cup of coffee.
Great coffee? You don't drink other things when you're having a meeting with your friends?
On occasion.
On occasion, me too. Perhaps we could compare notes on our favorite cups of coffee or other adult beverages.
I would love that.
I would love that too. So give me your card. And he's going to have it right out of his pocket, and he's going to write beverage or wine connoisseurs or coffee aficionados or something, right? Not the entire conversation. We talked about coffee, right? Thank you for playing along. You're going to write that as a note, because what happens if you go to an event and people gather all these cards and they get them in their wallet or their purse, and then they take them out and they go, who is this person? But if it goes on the note on the back and it says coffee aficionado, you're like, oh yeah, that's that tall kid. I need to call him, right? Or whatever they say. And then you should get theirs as well. Can I have yours as well? And then I give him, we talk coffee. And if I don't write it on the back of Jamal's, he should take that card and go, thank you for rescuing her. He should take that card and write talked coffee. So he and I know that we've talked coffee. His job is to follow up and go, Allison, we said we were going to talk coffee. Let's make a date so that we can do that. That's what you want to get out of networking when you're in person. Frankly, that's what you want to get out of networking when you're on LinkedIn. So online is not much different. You make an introduction. If there's people online that you don't know, you get someone to introduce you. So this is why you want to be friends with me, because I know everybody. Okay, well maybe not everybody, but I know a lot of people. And I'm happy to find people. The beauty of LinkedIn is that whole 6 degrees of separation goes into play. My 1,500 people know 1,500 other people who know 1,500 other people, so exponentially. And they'll tell you on LinkedIn, if you've ever worked on it, how many people you have access to from knowing Allison or whomever else you know. When you're posting, ask interesting questions. Ask them about what they've posted. Why did they do a story on the need for PR practitioners to be transparent during a crisis? We're making stuff up now, Kinsey, from our class, right? Whatever, so you'll watch them. All of you should start following on LinkedIn people who are interesting, people that you want to be connected to. You should, if there are industry leaders in journalism, follow Nicholas Kristoff or whomever you want to follow, Tyler, who are renowned journalists or renowned PR practitioners. This is the beauty of LinkedIn and Twitter, is you can follow them. You want to listen for content so that you can have that conversation. You can share your business card by having your LinkedIn profile and then connecting to those individuals. Whether it's through an introduction through me, or after you've done that, then you can connect and say, Daniel Coffey is a contemporary of yours. Some of you may know him. He trolled on my LinkedIn. He found 3 people connected to businesses he wanted to go work for in Portland or Seattle or somewhere. One person, I forgot I knew her. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then I go look at her LinkedIn page. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. We're friends. That's who that is. So I connected them, and that's working for him. Things are happening. So make sure that you do that. And then he did the same thing. After I connected him, woman I introduced him to, I can't remember her name, and Daniel connected them. And then he followed up and said, we'll talk offline and get Allison out of the conversation, and I'll follow up. He's going to get a job through LinkedIn that way. So I want you to start thinking about your personal brand. What is a brand?
The way you present yourself to the public and basically whenever you're out.
Yes. And what goes into that brand?
Your personality, your clothes, the way you talk, the way you approach people, almost everything. Your work.
Yes, your work. The people who are in my media ethics class, what is the very first thing we started with? The very, very first week. What did I make you assess? You remember?
Our goals. Isn't it our goals?
No.
3 words describing
Size,
Starts with a V.
values.
There you go. Right? Your brand is your values. What do you walk and talk and breathe when it comes to Tyler as a journalist? You walk and talk accuracy?
Oh, I need 2 more.
Yes.
Blunt.
Blunt.
Critical.
Critical.
Oh, accuracy.
Cynical.
No, I prefer the term realist.
Realist. Okay. So you're going to all take a moment and actually post your 3 brand words. These might go on your card. These are what your walking, talking values are. Tyler, you have to think of new ones.
Oh, rats.
Dude.
No, I was going to ask, what was this that we did in the first class where we posted 3 things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I already had you did that, right?
Yeah, is it the same thing or is this something?
No, it's not this. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I forgot that I did it. Okay, I was in a car accident today. I was in it. It's a long story. I'll tell you after class. Yes, so never mind. So you've done that. So whatever those 3 words are, those are your brand. Do you remember what they were? Okay, yeah. If you don't remember, you might need to write new ones. But here's my point. Whatever those 3 words are, if you remember them, you can repost them. If you don't remember what they are, think up new ones. Or go back through and look and what the hell was my brand? Whatever. What I want you to do, though, is look at those words and see how you how those attributes play out in, does that show in the picture you've taken on your LinkedIn? Does that show in the words that you use to describe yourself? Does that show, this is how we connect the dots about, as visual people, if you're a creative and you have nothing creative about your site, then you're not really very creative, right? Figure out a way to break out of LinkedIn's box to make that creativity, yeah? They now give you the little header thing in the back, which is kind of cool. They didn't used to let you do that. LinkedIn is an awkward tool, not my favorite. They got in on the front end, and they're supposed to be a business-to-business social networking. So they didn't figure out how cool it could be if they looked like a Facebook tool. They're slowly catching up. But however you do it, make your online brand look like those words, or rethink your words, so that you would know them off the top of your head and not have to go back through and go, what did I say I was again? So if you want to think that you're dynamic, show dynamism in your photos and in the words that you use on LinkedIn and any other social media. You should match. Oh, I keep pushing the wrong thing. I gotta tell you that LinkedIn, while it's not the tool that you go use, because you're not in business, it's the tool that business people use. So it's where a lot of referrals come. I've seen a lot of people use that as a tool as they get laid off and get hired. If you have a LinkedIn page, you are twice as likely to get an interview as if you don't. Abby at the Abby Agency, anybody intern there? Anybody know who the Abby Agency is? You did. If you apply, she will check your LinkedIn page. She will just check it because all the information is right there. She doesn't have to look at whatever cover letter you sent or whatever fancy resume you sent. She goes and looks at LinkedIn. And she sees how well it's filled out, how well the profile is. She checks it because she's a businesswoman. And that's her industry. So she wants to know if you're going to go apply for her, you should be it. You are 40 times more likely to get a job if you have a LinkedIn page than if you don't, compared to your contemporaries who don't. So for the 5 of you that already have one, good on you. For the 3 of you that have it and aren't using it, you might want to try it. I do have a caveat. Because people can see you, there is, because of the picture, there is a higher propensity for screening because of how you look. There is sexism, racism, ageism. There's all of those things do come into play. But frankly, if they're going to treat you like crap because you're a girl or because you have long hair and you're a fella, then you don't want to work for them anyway. So that's probably just as well. Recruiters who hire people, now that's only 3% of the people are hired from social media, but when they do, 94% of them are using LinkedIn compared to only a third are using Facebook. But even if there aren't people recruiting you, although Erin Foos was recruited for one of her internships straight off of LinkedIn, Cami Evans got a job, and these are contemporaries. Erin hasn't graduated. Cami just graduated in December. Cami got her first real PR job because someone recruited her from LinkedIn. It works, people. Totally does. But even if they aren't recruiting you, it's a great place for people as a tool. If people connect to me, they use that to get referrals about employees, even if I'm not on your list of referrals. If they see that you went to the Reynolds School, they'll go, hey, what do you know about this person? And if I know you, I'll tell them. If I don't, I'll say, well, they didn't have to suffer my class, so I can't tell you. So how reporters recruit through LinkedIn is they'll search by employers. So if they want to snap up the Baljamin talent, they might go PR agencies and look specifically from a company like that, or IGT. IGT does great training and then they scoop up and steal you. They sometimes buy the ads. But the pieces that are more important to you are from networking by going, Alison, who do you know? And then keywords. So we're going to get to the title, the headline, where it'll have your name, and underneath that it'll say, where do you work? I would recommend that you use words like pursuing or seeking or looking or aspiring, because that indicates that you're ready for the next thing. As opposed to if you happen to work for UPS as your day job, don't put that. That's great for UPS and gets them promoted, but that does nothing for your brand. So use the title because of those keywords. All right, this is what makes up a perfect profile. Headshots, making sure the URL is converted to your name. You want a story, not titles, in terms of the headline. You want to make sure you have contact information, that you fill out the summary. The summary is not the same as the resume. I'm going to go through all of this so you don't have to memorize this page. That you actually complete the profile and do all of the things, so awards, every little thing that's on it. You want to make sure you look for keywords for that search engine optimization for the jobs that you want. So you want the words that you have within your text to match the kinds of keywords that are in the job descriptions for the jobs you want. With me on that? You want recommendations. The endorsements thing is stupid. It's just arbitrary where LinkedIn has aggregated. Like some of the things that was on mine were, if you look at my profile, some of the things that I've been endorsed for were, now I can't even remember because there were things that I don't do. Like I don't do them for a living. I never got paid to do that. I don't really do that, but somewhere along the line it thought, oh, well, she's, like photography. I could point and shoot my phone at you and I might get a decent picture. If you want to look at my garden on Facebook, it's kind of all right, but you should see how many I delete, right? So recommendations, all of you should ask for, if you've got a faculty member, they should provide a recommendation for you so you can start building that. Most of us are happy to do that for you. Especially if we have had great class interaction with you. You want to network through the groups and that's not what I wanted to do. Network through the groups, and then you want to make sure that if you connect to anybody that you talk to them. You can't just leave them hanging. It's kind of like that dating thing. Don't take the number and then never call. All right, so the rest that you want to complete your profile is you want to make sure that you have your industry and location available. It should be updated and current. If you're going to do your resume part, you want the least past 2 positions. Some of you have, how many of you have had like a different job every semester? Some of you have. The rest of you not. That's so unusual in such a group. So some of you may have had more jobs than, like every year you get a new job or you get a new internship or you've done 5 internships. I think Jamal's on his 3rd or something. So you might want to condense that to skills like you've worked in retail, you've worked in food service, you've worked in, and go by the industry and that job by job by job by job by job. Because I'll tell you this now, on the resume on LinkedIn and in person, none of you have worked long enough to have more than a 1-page resume. None of you. So you want to figure out how to get it all into one. You do want to have that profile, and then you want at least to connect to 50 people. All of you know 50 people. You should have at least 50 people connected on your LinkedIn, including faculty, your family, the people that you know. Yeah? Okay. So if we're going to get on the page, you want professional-looking headshots. You don't have to wear a suit. In the creative industry, people would look askance at you if you were wearing a suit. I know.
Wow.
Sometimes askance. Or they might look at you cross-eyed, whatever. All right, so it doesn't have to be a suit. But I can't tell you how many young women, especially, although I know some young men who've done the same thing, where you do the kitten pose. Yeah, don't tilt your head. This will get you a date, this will not get you a job. Or it'll get you the wrong job, and I don't want you to even work in that industry. So, make it professional. Make it professional. You're not there to be cute, you're not there to get a date. You want to look professional. I really have sent messages to people like, it's a great picture of you, you look fabulous, but let's get a picture where you look like you're ready to go to work and not go to the prom. One of my students was a ballroom dancer, and she had her hair all ballroom dancey and had a ballroom dance outfit on, which is glamorous and sexy as hell. Great if she was going to be a ballroom dance instructor. That's not what she was pursuing. So don't do that. No selfies. You know people right next to you who can take your picture and do it right. So no, none of this. No selfies. Don't put your pets. Yes, Nicole.
What about them? Like, that's not on selfies. Like, what if someone catches you, like, doing your job?
Candid.
It's not necessarily candid. It's like mine's like at my camera, so mine like at the.
Yeah, that's okay. So like, because you do photography for the journalism, whatever, that could be, I'll look at it, but yes. But generally speaking, if it looks like you're working and you're doing the industry, it could be clever and that's a creative way to set yourself apart. Yes, that would work. What I don't want you to do is use the kind that we normally use on Facebook, right? Pictures of my cat will show up on Facebook. You will never see Sirius Black on LinkedIn. Nobody gives a shit about my cat on LinkedIn. Well, nobody gives a shit about her on Facebook either, but all right, see? Jordan cares. I have one fan of the Seriously. You don't want to do objects. I had a student who had a stained glass thing. It was beautiful, but it's not him. Facebook, not business. Don't do group photos because nobody knows which one is you. Unless Connor is there surrounded by a bevy of women.
No, we still don't know, though.
We still don't know.
We still don't know.
We still don't know. And Connor Board is a girl.
See?
So shout out to Connor who's in Nashville. So yeah. Look, there's a headshot. I had a fancy headshot taken. I'm wearing the jacket, but it's a t-shirt on underneath, and I'm wearing jeans because I'm faculty. I look like a professor. Well, as close as I could ever look like a professor. Notice my title. Technically, my title is lecturer and internship coordinator. Play. This is what I do. I assure students fulfill their promise through networking and negotiation. That's what I do here. That is far more interesting than being a lecturer, because that sounds boring to everybody, and internship coordinator. That's what I do. So this is what I'm talking about. Describe either your brand or what do you do, your skill set, your attributes. Don't use a title, especially if you're not in the field. If you're interning at a place where you get to do that, like at Bowserman or at Estepona Group, then maybe you could do that. But that's not where you're going to be forever, so maybe consider doing that. Because note underneath that, then you have where I'm from, the Reno, Nevada area, and then what my specialty is, public relations and communications. So, and then I work at the journalism school. And it shows my whole history. Hang on, hold please. Well, maybe I'll get to that in a minute. The questions about that? Yeah, Jordan.
What about people that try to add you on LinkedIn that have like no relation to any career you're trying to pursue? Because I know a lot of people that I don't know and don't really have any connections with me that are involved in different fields, and I don't add them.
That's a really good question. There are trollers in every social media, so you don't have to friend everybody who asks. But look at the industry, even if it's not PR particularly related, but it might be somebody in the area or somebody who knows, look at how many connections they have to you. Then it might make sense. You could reach out to them and say, I see you asked me to friends, why have you included me? Because they may have mistaken you for somebody else, or they're like, I'm really interested in this topic or whatever. I don't know. So I wouldn't arbitrarily say no, but if you get an icky feeling, no, you don't have to friend them. You don't. You can unfriend them. So there's this section for the contact information. If you go to that page, you want to fill out your contact. I really want to do this, but I don't know if I've got the LinkedIn set up. I forgot to do that before I came. Hang on. Hold, please. Oh, so excited. Hang on. We interrupt this presentation for a commercial. 6:12. I've got 12 minutes left. Jeez. Yeah. Here's the trick. Does Allison remember what her password is? If I don't, then I'll go on to something else. I don't remember it. All right. So, come back. Go away. Hold, please. Close to. All right, so when you go to your contact information, here's what I want you to pay attention to. Once you open up this little section, they'll have a place for your phone number, for your email. Give them one of those. They'll have your address. Unless you have a secret post office box, I don't recommend that you give out your address because unfortunately we don't need trollers showing up at where you live. So you could have a business office, you could do that. So don't put your address, but do make the phone number a real phone number that you will actually answer and a real email address. But then underneath at the bottom, they'll have all the social media they'll have a thing for websites. If you just type in the website and you put your URL, journalism.unr.edu, it'll just list personal website. I'd much rather that you go in and click on a drop-down menu within that and go to other. Then type in what it is, Reynolds School, so that when it shows up, if you go look at my page, it'll say Reynolds School and then have a Reynolds School thing. Then I'll have Facebook and I put my Facebook link. Then I'll have a connection to Twitter and I put my Twitter link. So that if you're trying to make it so people can find you in places they should find you. So make that happen, okay? If you get stuck and you don't know how to find it, talk to me offline. You should customize. Question, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to putting on a website, if you work at a place where your stuff is published online, like, would it be better for me to put, if I had a personal website, my own, or should I put, for example, the RGJ?
I do both, because if you have the links to the Reno Gazette Journal, that's the second one, but if you have the personal one where it's all aggregated, certainly put that, because then they can see other stuff about you. But then if you have the RGJ, because you're showing up in the bylines all the time, totally do that. Yeah, good questions. Is there any questions in Twitter land? Mm-hmm. Nobody's asked a question? All right. Check your settings. Make sure that in your settings, and you all know how to figure this out, but the settings on LinkedIn will talk about sharing updates. You don't want to spam people who have friended you on LinkedIn that, oh, I had a birthday. Oh, I have an anniversary. Oh, I got a new job. Oh my God, we don't care. Don't automatically send that to your entire list. So in the settings, which is the teeny weeny little icon in the upper right-hand corner, make sure you click on that and go find the settings where you don't share every update. Do connect to the Twitter in your to the Twitter in your settings, and then make sure that you customize your URL so that if you're going to say LinkedIn on your business card, you could do capital L, capital I at Al Gaulden. Well, that'd be silly for you people because you aren't Al Gaulden, but you know what I mean. All of my social media is Al Gaulden. I make it easy, I make it consistent. It's not likes to chew gum, which is my cousin's, so that's why I make fun of her. You want to make it consistent so that it's easy. So do you all know, can you figure out how to do your privatized URL? It's on there, you can do it once. If you go into the settings, there will be a place in the right-hand column that will say something about actually the URL. And so you can go in there and go tweak it. Hang on, Jordan's looking. Do you have it?
No, I don't see it.
Go into your settings.
Okay. Here?
Yeah, are you signed in?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Crap.
Oh, crap. What?
We do a question from Twitterland before you get a chance.
Okay, while we're looking on this, ask me the question. Behind the scenes settings.
Oh.
What's the question?
Mike Olinger.
Mike, yep, in
He
Fresno.
asks, if I want to get the editors at my internship to write me a LinkedIn recommendation, how should I do that?
He can either ask them in person or use the LinkedIn if he's friends with them and use the process. There's a way to ask for recommendations on the LinkedIn, and you can just send it. And then you can go talk to them personally. Say, hey, I'm going to send you a LinkedIn recommendation. Would you send a recommendation? Type all that really fast. Okay. All right, contact, I talked about that. Fill it all out, make it easy. Headline, I talked about that. Create the title you want, or say that you're aspiring or looking, or share your skill set. Summary. Okay, so there's a section that talks about your summary. This is where you get to, it's kind of like writing the cover letter. This is where you tell your story and tell what sets you apart. If you go to my page, it talks about the fact that I've been doing PR since I was 12 years old. From waiting tables at my parents' restaurant, to being a reproductive freedom fighter, to now helping assure that you people go on to do epic shit. I've worked in PR all my life. That's far more interesting than to say that I've done waitressing, and I worked at Planned Parenthood, and I worked at the journalism school. You're storytellers. Tell your story. Tell it in a way that sets you apart, that shows your brand and whatever you're walking, talking, and living, and shows your attributes. You want to summarize your skills that aren't listed in your resume. So it's much like the cover letter, but make it interesting. So here's an example. So I used to have one that says, in my summary, serve as both internship coordinator and adjunct professor teaching public relations courses for the Reynolds School of Journalism. You can read all that blah, 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 blah on my resume. And instead, I changed it so that I talk about my story of how long that I've always been doing this. On your resume, you want to list your positions but not your tasks. So if you have a job description that says that you assisted with this, that, or the other event, or you set up lighting or sound systems or whatever, that's not really going to get you the job you want. You want to talk about anything that's measurable, where you can define the work and talk about the results. So if you did editing equipment setup and you can set up a photo shoot and take it down, you want to talk about the number or the time or some other factor related to that, and you want to use active verbs. I'm happy to, our last class, August 3rd, I'm going to go over resumes more specifically, portfolios, and some other good stuff. Oh, I'm almost there. Resume groups. So you can join up to 50 groups. That's insane. Don't do that. But find a couple of groups to follow. So those of you who are interested in the American Marketing Association, Connor, that might be a good one for you to follow, to watch feeds, to see if there's people doing cool stuff that you want to follow. Gamers. I'm sure there's some whole industry trend on that, right?
No fear of the gaming folks.
Right. So follow groups that make sense. You do want to communicate in those groups, and as you talk to people when you're posting, you want to demonstrate your expertise or talk to them. So Jamal went to work for the Estepona group, but if he hadn't known them, he could reach out to Jackie and say, hey, I saw your blog about blah, blah, blah. That was really interesting. As it happens, I did something on this same topic. So you could post about some kind of connection or tell them how smart they were, or same thing that you would when you're networking, tell me something interesting about you. Other ways you can start the conversation is ask them things like, what have you found to be the top 3 graphic design challenges, AP style errors, whatever, have it start the conversation. Yeah? Do take advantage of the jobs tab. So there's all that tabs across the top. So it has the home, editing your profile, there's jobs, there's groups, there's whatever. They list jobs. So if you're interested in finding a job out of the area especially, go check and see what the listings are in the industry that you're interested in. The recommendations, get people you know to recommend you. There's a place within the document to say, ask for a recommendation, and then you list the people. When it sends something, it's got a preset sentence that says, I would like to friend you on LinkedIn because we know each other, or some, I don't know what it says. It's dumb and lazy. So don't use the one that automatically comes up. Rewrite your own. So if you wanted to connect to somebody I know, Josh, and you wanted to get to know Alice Hyman for some reason, you would say, hey, I see you're a friend of Allison's, and this is why I'm reaching out to you, right? So you could do that instead of whatever arbitrary thing it comes up with. Ask others to connect to you if you want to meet someone. Tap into your account. So they give you a way to like go through your entire email list or whatever other data list that you have. Be careful of that because not everybody wants to play on LinkedIn. So you might handpick your list, but don't forget other people too, right? Go back to your networks. Look at your professors. Look at your parents' friends who might be useful to you to friend them on LinkedIn. Commenting on, you want to post. You want to go talk to people. It's called social networking for the social part. Right? You have to talk to people. You don't get to be voyeurs and just read. You have to engage and participate. All of you may want to start getting a tool like Hootsuite so that you can post out on all of your social media at the same time. It's a tool we use in PR. Do post your own comments. Do post on other people's comments. Do like comments. They've gotten much better about that. Because those of you who actually have conversations are 10 times more likely to get recruited than those of you who are just voyeurs. Looky-loos. That's my presentation. How'd I do on time?
You've got 5 minutes.
Oh, like I'd done this before. Questions? Helpful? You're absorbing? Jamin.
Do you think it's important to put LinkedIn on your business card?
I do.
Say, like, find me on LinkedIn?
I do. Well, I don't think you need to write find me. I think if you went to the trouble of LI at Al Gaulden, FB at Al Gaulden, people would know. That's LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter.
But LinkedIn isn't it just by your name? So then.
No, if you do LI, LinkedIn at Al Gaulden. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then same thing, Facebook, FB at Al Gaulden. Then if you've already personalized your URL, then people can find you. You with a Barghouti, that's kind of hard. Jamaluddin. You with a long name. What else do you want to know? Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, when it comes to the business cards and putting your social media on it, would it be that much worse to just use like little logos that they have? Like, you know, that Facebook logo, which, you know, is small.
Yeah, or you mean the little icons?
Yeah.
It says that you're on there, but it doesn't say how to find you. So if they don't know how to spell Hersco?
No. I mean, like, do the little icon, then your, you know, your URL or your name.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you could use the initials for spacing-wise, visually. I'm not the graphics person, but that may get too busy. So if you don't have room, you could just use the initials. But yes, you could use the icon and then the thing. Yeah, sorry, I didn't understand.
We have a question from Twitter. Is reworking our LinkedIn to be more professional part of our homework for class? Even if it is not, can we get help at some point? Michael.
I'm going to say yes, but not really. I highly recommend it. I give this to you as ways to help you get employment. If you don't take advantage of it, that's not on me, that's on you. So up to you, people. But no, it's not homework. Other questions? With 2 minutes to spare, people, you are free to go. I will see you August 3rd.
Yeah. So like I have like here, and then I just website. You're supposed to put that like it should link up to actual pages. There's no page further down. You could do that and it's there. Is that okay? Like or is that that's the stupid, but it's and then there's a picture of this right like
Is that what?
less of
I
had a question for Ryan.
Let's get on here.
Say what? Oh, I didn't know that was still on.